you can, and then it starts to become almost like, oh, that's a thing. We should be, and so then you eventually get to a place where it's the right time, right moment.
Yeah, and then the pitching and the conversation will give you a sense of how this connects, and will give you a different perspective, bigger perspective or whatnot that lets you learn to, like what Anshul said earlier, which is like you learn Google.
Yeah. So a question I have is what do you think as an organization we need to do differently in order to spark more of the sort of innovations that we already see? I mean, how do we need to change our org to make ourselves more open to innovation and to give things legs that might ordinarily get killed? Or that's a hard question, but I mean, I think it's maybe the question.
I think we can start small and do for instance, every Friday teach this 4 steps or 3 steps that I said, and then show you best practices and just have mini training, open office hours. Do a little bit that's similar, but with the Andrew, the PM team, and show how we could help.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do a better way of keeping your ideas connected, like that closet that we're just talking about. When you keep your ideas, doing more for that and help people.
Your closet stuff might be very relevant to each other, but they're in the closet.
And then another one, I'm just throwing ideas, and now I will shut up. The last one, incentivize those. Like, hey, Katrina did blah, we should recognize that behavior by blah.
Yeah. To add to that, I think there's we talked about, I think some of the things like this, 1, 2, 3, is more from an individual point of view. You're basically feeling your way around the elephant. Right? But I think we're doing a little bit better again, but again, I think we could do more, which is kind of communicate the rough outline of the ears of the elephant, the trunks of the elephant, in a way, rather than this is an elephant, right? So how do we kind of help communicate and bring more of that connectiveness to the people who have this box of ideas, so that it's much more easier to connect it to more the context that needs to be aware of.
Yeah, I mean, I just to double back to on the building confidence in people. I think we tend to be a perfectionist kind of an org, and we tend to scrutinize everything so heavily, and we have to. I think though, getting comfortable messing up and that it's okay to have bad ideas, and it gets back to the failure, and empowering people to feel yes, your idea, it got completely shut down after you put but maybe it will, we'll come back to it, but somehow making it feel very safe to share wild ideas, and kind of modeling that we're all works in progress, we all mess up, it's okay, and if you can get that environmental safety, I think more ideas will come out.
Yeah.
I was going to add on that too. So a couple things. One, I feel like this is hard no matter where you are, but and I think it's a question just for all of us about how we can create a container for it, because it's one of the things that's challenging. You're constantly running and constantly going on to the next thing. You can have an idea that's maybe really anchored to that, but in my experience, a lot of the time the ideas come when you have some room to kind of explore, some space to think, some new ideas, and maybe in that space connect with other people who also are in that same kind of mental, what's the word, mind space. Yeah, space a lot, but and so I think part of it I think is hackathons, or there's ways to create that container organizationally for that. I think the other thing I was thinking about was, I love the what you said about creating, making failure okay and having more wild ideas, and having more examples of what do these look like? What do these wild, crazy pitches look like? So that people could say, oh, okay, that's what it looks like. It's not that scary. Yeah, I have something like that. I can do that. I can make that.
The cursor.
That's doable for me. So it also removes some of the mystery of what that is and what it needs to look like.
to build on that, it could be more like collective